Very good morning to you guys. I hope you're all well. We're at the $25 minimum table. Let's start. Shooting VSETs 6424. Implosion friendlies. Nice. 369. Thank you, Brian. I'll try my best. Nice. 358. Hi, John. Good morning. Six, 4, 2, 4. Nice. Another one. It's a 538. Six, 4, 2, 4. Box cars, that's implosion of the right die. Nice out. Five, 6, yo, that's a drift. Nice out. Oh, 1, 2, 3. behaving very badly, so I'm going to switch bets off. One time. Then I'll go to original set 3-6, 3-2. I should probably hedge the 10, but no mind. That's it. 5-1-6, okay. That's a primary. Bets back on. No, 5-1. Was it 1-5 or 5-1? Never mind. 1-3-5-3. Nice. Aces, okay. Good call. What was explosion? Coming down because two reasons why. Number one, my ATS becomes more, I don't know, lucrative, I would say. 3-5-3. Nice out. Heart 4, 2-2. All right, so we're coming all the way down. I need to hedge the 5 for 70 something. And the 10. $75. That's it. We can't lose now. Two, 6, 2, 4. Five, 2, 7. With a 1, 4, 5. So it was a perfect double pitch. Okay. What did we make out of it? It's $42. All right. I'll take it. So we double pitched the set in the end. We needed 5 and 10. I hedged both of them. No bets whatsoever on the table. No place bets. And it was the ATS against the lay 7. All right. 5-1, 5-4. Nice. For 5-9 implosion. That's it. 2, 4, 6. Secondary. Hit 1. Five, 1, 5, 4. 2, 3, 5. That's my 2 hits coming down. 160 across. Aces. We'll take that. It's a difficult one. We've got 4 numbers from the 5, 1, 5, 4. We can move on to 5, 4, 5, 6. Get some different numbers. Nice. Six, 3, 9. What's it drift? That's a front line. Okay. No 5s were involved. That's not nice, but 5, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Six to 8. That's implosion left. Oh, we got the 2. So. Implosion with 6, 1. Not liking this. 7. 5, 4, 5, 6. Dice. Five, 3, 8. That's going to take me to hard ways. 6, 5, 3. No, it is 5, 6, 5, 6. Sorry. Hard 4, that's a primary. Six, 5, 6, 5. That's it. Four, 2, 6. Another 2 hits coming down. 160, 155. Six, 4, 6, 4. That's it. Boxcar, that's a primary. Six, 2, 6, 2. Oh my God, come on, give me a chance, man. Double pitch, perfect double pitch. It's a 1, 2, 6, 5. Turned into a all sevens. So I had 2 on axis results. I think hard 4 and then 12. That should have sent me to resets. Alright, so short rolls, guys. Sorry about that. I am making money, but I am not earning my own respect. I don't want hard ways in. Three, 2 for 1, I sell. That's a primary 213. Three, two, four, six. Six, three, nine. We got a 3 out of it, which is good. The 6 was explosion. Five, six. 5, 3 becomes 5, 6, 2, 4. Nice. 5, 6. It's implosion right. Too early for this result. Three, five for one. Dice. 3, 5, 8. Let's hit number 1. Six, 3, 6, 5 becomes 6, 3, 1, 2. Takes out. 1, 5, 6. We got the 1. Okay, so let's hit number 2. Come down. Basic betting 160. Three, 1, 3, 5 becomes 3, 1, 4, 2. The 1 is on axis, the numbers facing me, hard 8 means they double pitch. The 6, however, is not. 1, 6, 7. Come on, I need to get over these 2, 3 rolls. What the fucks? 3, 1, 4, 2. Rotated explode 1-6. Short rolls are speeding up the process of making me money with the 2 hits and down, but I look like a bloody idiot. For one, dice out. Dice out. Heart 6, that's a primary. Let's hit number 1. For one. Thanks. 2, 3, 5. Number 2. Dice. Heart 4, that's a drift. Sit number 3. Posture. Dice. 4, 1, 4, 1. 8, 3, 5, 8. That's 4. Dice up. 4, 1, 4, 1. 6, 2, 8. Let's hit number 5. nice. 3, 4. So that would give them a little bit of an arc, like a rainbow. Too much. Didn't manage to. I think it was a losing one for me because I started with a progression. I think after 5 hits I should have come down. I did not. Six, 5, 6, 5, dice. Hard 4, that's a primary. Two in a row. Two, 3, 2, 1. Nice. 3, 5, 8. I'm gonna go 6, 5, 6, 3. It's a 1, 3, 4. Come down. 160 across. Come on, let's hope for a good one. Five, 1, 5, 3. 2, 3, 5. Good. Second. One, 2, 1, 3. Four, 5, 9. That's implosion on both dice. Hey Roman, good morning, sir. That's the third hit. Come on, let's do 10 hits, man. 6, 4, 6, 5 yo, secondary. Three, 6, 3, 5. Hard 8, that's a primary, 4, 4. Or 6 for 2. Say 3, 5, 8. Secondary, okay. Number 5. Let's push, come on. On 3, 1, 5. Hard 10, not 6. Explosion left, 5, 5. Did that one. Five, 6, 5, 4. Hard 10 again, that's a primary. That's 1, 2, 3. Nice. That's a 5, 2, 3, 5. Front line. 1, 2, 1, 3. Deze. 2, 6, 8. That's a secondary. Three, 2, 3, 6. Deze. 2, 4, 6. Secondary. 6, 2, 6, 4. Deze. It's a 4, 3, 1, 4. That's implosion of the left eye. Two, 3, 2, 1. Double pitched at 5, 2. I was overthinking it. Now I'm overthinking. I wanted the left eye to implode to the 6, which it did, and to move this die to the bottom position. So we're talking a 5, 1, 6. Alright, we made some money, I guess. Thank you. I think it was the first decent one. I'm gonna open it up a bit. It was a 15. All right, not bad. I'm gonna put my bets down. Hopefully we get a few more redemption rolls, so that's gonna be important. So I was on a 2 reset, I 5-2'd into a 7. That's the best kind of 7 that we can get if we're using resets, because they are on axis and because it means that you are staying on axis, therefore avoiding most of the 7s, but you cannot avoid every 7. Five, 1, 5, 3. 325. Explosion of the left die. Three, 6, 2. Dice. Hard 8. That to me is a warning sign. Get away from B sets for now. Go to hard ways. For one. Two, 1, 3. That was kind of expected. Two, 1, 2, 1. Expecting a 4, 3, 1 type. Three, 5, no. Six, 4. 3, 5, 3, 5. No, double pitched. Three, 4, 7, 4, 3, 7. That was a big loss. It was a top side double pitch. Maybe I should have come down on 2 hits. Worst kind of 7. 6, 2, 6, 2. Dice. 1, 2, secondary. Dice out 5662. That's a 1064. Six, 6, 4. Four, 1. Six, 4, 4, 1. Dice 4, 5, 9. Boxes. That's 3 hits. Back on schedule. Two, 4, 4, 5. Heart 10. That's a front line. Self-correction. One, 5, 5, 6. Eight, 6, 2. It's a double pitch. No, it's a primary, sorry. 6, 2, 5, 6, 6, 2. Okay. Nice. Boxcars self-correction. 4 6 6 3. Eight, 5 3 8. What's up, brother Waylon? Good to see you, man. Four, 5 5 3. Nice. 8 2 6 8. One, 2 2 6. Six, 4 10. TIN. Three, 6 6 4. Two, 1 3. Yeah, that one. Six, 2 2 1. Nope. Said to myself, if you can handle 2 more throws, you get to the 6 5 yo. 1 6 7 with hard 4 facing. Side pitch. This should have been at 12. But because of bad mechanics, I'm drifting the dice, making them, double pitch on their side. Alright, so we are at 66. We're gonna go one more time. For 5 1 3. Is a 3 2 3 6 quarter turn on the left die. Nice. 5-6. Single pitch, but the wrong way. Two, 4, 4, 6. Oh, come on. 3, 4. Keeping the axis, but single pitching the wrong way. Twice in a row. Let's repeat. So I'm pushing up my rather than do this, I'm gonna do that. 3, 2, 6, 3, no. 3, 2, 1, 3. Let's go. Give me the 6 or the 8 now. A little bullshit. There you go, 1, 5. 4, 1, 4, 5 becomes 4, 1, 2, 4. Nice. 5, 4, 9. Alright, 1, 5, 1, 4 is the original set. We're just going to quarter tune 1, 5, 3, 1. Nice. 5, 6. Alright, so 5, 3, 1, double pitch. 5, 4, 6 becomes 4, 5, 1, 4. Four, 1, 5. That's a primary. Those are 2 hits. We're coming down. Come on, let's do something. Hi Mel. What's up, John? From sunny California. That's a 5-4, 5-1 set. Just quarter turning one die. 5-4, 6-5. Dice up. 5-1. 5-4, 6-5. That's a double pitch again. Front line. That's 3-5, 3-1. Original set. 3-5, 6-3. Nice up. 1-5-6. That's explosion of both dice. 4-1-4-5 is the next set. Becomes 4-1-2-4. Nice. 6. Self-correction. Frontline winner. Three, 1, 3, 5. Becomes 3, 1, 2, 3. Nice. 4-1-5. Explosion right. 5. Takes us to 5-4-5-1 set. Quarter turn 5-4-6-5. Dice up. Double pitch or single pitch? 5-2-7, 2-5-7. And that's gonna be it, guys. 77 rolls. Let's see what we did very quickly in stats, and we can move on to Crapsee. Boxes were, I would say, random. 67.5, mostly inside 4s and 10s. They were not hit. They were a bit anemic today. The 8 just gave the finger to everything else. SRR 7.7, SOR 8.6, so I would say, I don't know, 1.6 times better. Less than 30% better on the SRR. Top rolls 15, 11, 12, 10, 6, 7, 5, 6, and 7. So all the rolls were okay for a 2 hidden down game. I don't know whether I missed anything. Probably did, but anyway. 196 roll quality means that we didn't have a lot of repeaters, and that's okay. I was using different sets all the time. And straight to Crapsee. You're very welcome. Made some money. Good. Let's see. Let us see. Okay, so everybody on original bankroll, that's 2,000. Past the 13, he took a chance, made it work. Very nice, very nice. 9,500. I just doubled up, I guess, 4,300. T-rep, 2887, doubled up, money shot. Very nice, 75% over and above. That's very nice. Covenant is up 741. That's a 35%, 36% up. Justice Gen, 509, 25% up. Skill, I guess up 20%. Marble, 20%. Fish Pig, 15. So that's it. 9 out of 17. So that's more than 50%. I'm glad about that. Dawn, sorry about that. Waylon was down one bankroll, I guess. JK down almost 2 bankrolls, Mrs. Big Money and the Big Money family representing their name basically and keeping the bottom part safe. Glad to see you made some money, Brian, John. I was out shopping for something to get rid of wasps on my front porch, so I didn't get to play. That's okay, John. It's okay, Mr. Big Money. I'm sorry I didn't make you the money that you wanted, but I'm beginning to think, that quite a lot of you guys put a lot of sort of effort into the long rolls. So I think that's the issue here. I am sure in reality that's not the case. You should regress and you should do it quite quickly. Whether it's a good shooter or not, just make sure that you have enough money made to regress to a very comfortable position so that you don't suffer, huge losses, I guess. Okay. On that note, guys, thank you so much for. Yeah, I will try that. We all have a lot of faith. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to do as well. Have a lot more faith in my throw. I see a lot of things, and if you don't mind, you guys, I'm just gonna spend a minute with you just talking about things that I see, because I watch almost everything that has to do with craps. I spend a lot of time watching videos that people put up that represent, themselves. And let me just turn this camera here and see if it will focus on my face, which is not something I do very often. Let's tilt it upwards. Here we go. All right, I guess that's good enough. So, I was watching SJ yesterday. I think it was today. A new video is up by Brian, and SJ was a shooter. There's a couple of things that were happening at the same time. I could always hear Jen in the background talking. And I don't know whether that's distracting to some people. Maybe it's not. There's so much noise going on, but it was picking up on the microphone quite a bit. So if it was me there, I would tell people to sort of keep the noise down, because there's a lot of focus trying to happen there. SJ was quite focused. SJ was just looking down all the time and thinking about die sets, and I really liked that part because he was confident enough and focused enough to double pitch resets. This is something that we've been doing with Brian. He was double pitching his resets based on results, and he was getting somewhere. And then there was one result at the very end when I think he changed his landing zone, and that's something that's very, very hard to sort of think, why did he do it? I'll need to ask him about it. But that was his demise. He was in the middle shooting V-sets, which is the right place to shoot V-sets, by the way, because you don't get the interactions from the side walls which turn the dice on their sides. You need V-sets and cross sixes to be on axis. And that is why they're considered so difficult. So don't shoot your V-sets in the corners. You don't want the interactions from the sides. You want them to be hitting the wall straight. Let them do their business afterwards. Now, whether you double pitch them or not, it's of very little relevance unless you're actually watching what the dice are doing. If you start, for example, with a 3-2-3-6 and your first result is a 5-6 yo and everyone gets excited about it, you should start trembling. Or if you're focused enough and practiced enough, you should say to yourself, well, I just double pitched. I am happy that I am on a V set and it gave me a second chance. But at the same time, you should be thinking, what do I do next? There is two schools of thought that I think I developed both of them. I would double pitch the set. That's the first instance. And then the second thing that I would do is to make sure that my results contain a 4 or a 3. That's extremely important. Most of the 7s on a V set come from the off-axis numbers, not from the on-axis. So you need, and that has to do with rotations. So you need to make sure that your rotations are good enough and you're focused enough to repeat the same thing to get yourself a 3 or a 4, so that you invalidate the off-axis 7s. You just make them impossible to happen. So I saw a lot of those things going on, and I see a lot of comments things like, oh, I never use 3 V sets or 2 Vs. I always use cross sixes. And I'm just wondering whether these people understand dice, whether they have actually looked at dice and whether they actually looked at the fact that cross sixes, 3 Vs, 2 Vs, they belong to the same family of sets. So if you get a 7 out of one, you would probably get a 7 out of the other. Whether they were talking more specifically about results, as in, if I use cross sixes, I get 6s and 8s. If I get 3V, I get horn numbers, which are useless to me. That's fine. I would understand that. And I would say, you do understand dice much better than I thought you did. But a lot of people make a lot of blunt statements without actually having a basis to base what they're saying on, because they haven't really sat down, looked at dice, or sat down and examined how you actually throw the dice, the technique, the mechanics, all these things. So I would say to them, please, please, please. It's not enough to be great at betting, hedging. It's also relevant to align. And in order to do that, there's another big chapter of, craps. That's called, developing good mechanics. I'm not going to say influencing. I hate those words. I'm just going to say become more experienced in recognizing things that are happening with your mechanics. The other thing I want to say is I'm repeating myself. A shooter will not shoot exactly the same 30 minutes later on. It's very important for people to understand it. A shooter goes through physical fatigue and mental fatigue, especially those who actually think about results. And I will explain to you by giving you, a step-by-step thinking process when I'm about to shoot dice. Number one, I think about how do I position my feet when I pick up the dice. How is my body placed when I pick up the dice? Because that's going to determine whether my fingers are placed correctly, and that has to do with posture. Number two, how do I position my body in order to shoot the dice? That's another decision. That's decision number three. What sort of set am I going to use to start off a session? I am just fresh. I just came down from my room and I'm going to start shooting. What's the best set? There are those things that you need to consider, because a certain set, like the kissing set, is going to guide you. It's going to give you reference about what your dice are doing, regardless of whether you're using same color dice or if they have two different colored dice. You don't need to track those results because they give you a lot of information simply by knowing your dice sets. So, it's things like that that tire a shooter out before he actually even starts throwing dice. And one last thing. The Hawaiians, I consider them one of the most experienced players at the table. And what did I see? I saw, sorry for the word, a shitload of pass line bets with odds, actually blocking their own players. I saw people shooting excellent and the dice were landing on pass line bets. What is that all about? I would actually pay for your pass line for you to remove it and give me a clean landing zone, and you would get tenfold out of that. It's things like this that bother me. The table was yours, the table was reserved, and what do? You place a pass line bet. What kind of strategy are you after that's going to make you more money than a 7-out? It's things like that that really, they don't make sense, especially from Hawaiian shooters that are very experienced. Keep the landing zones clean. I am sure you can make other bets. Alright, so John says on a bouncy table, I roll a lot of 7s with hardware set 5-4-5-4. John, you have to distinguish what sort of 7s you roll. Because if you tell me that you're rolling a 5-4-5-4 set and you get 4-3, that's a double pitch. 2-5, that's a double pitch. You shouldn't be on hardware sets. Now, if you're telling me that you're using 2Vs, 3Vs, cross 6s, and you get a lot of 7s, then again we need to see what sort of 7s you get. So the 7s are the determinants of the sort of family of sets that you should be using. With 2V set 2, 1, 2, 3, I got a long rolls and I have made it all many times. Okay. So you're basically getting longer rolls with 2, 1, 2, 3. The same would have been said about a 3, 6, 3, 2 in your case, or a 6, 5, 6, 4. 3 different sets belonging to the 3V and the cross 6s family. It's the same thing. If you got a long roll with a 2, 1, 2, 3, you would have gotten a long roll with a 6, 5, 6, 4 and the 3, 6, 3, 2. Perhaps not the numbers that you wanted, but it would have transposed to non-7 results. with a 6556 come out set, I roll a lot of horns and sevens. I make money betting the horn on my come out. Okay, that's strategy. Then that's alignment of sets to a certain strategy. What I'm talking about here is for you to use the 6556 as a come out set to determine what your dice are doing. But if you're getting a lot of horns, it means that you're staying on axis. So you should stay away from hardware set, and you should be focusing on 2Vs, 3Vs, and cross sixes. And that is very simple for me to understand, but I want people to actually look at the dice and understand what I'm trying to say, because what I am trying to say is actually right there in front of you. It's on the dice. I'm not talking I'll make you the best dice influencer and all that. That's bullshit. That's marketing. The real things are the dice. They're there right in front of you. And if you get a 6-5, 6-6, 1-1, 1-2, that means you're staying on axis. And a lot of sevens, you say. The sevens predominantly should be 6-1s and 5-2s. That's how I see it. If you are actually, staying on axis. And that's a certain thing which brings me to consistency. Whatever we're saying here has a prerequisite that you actually are a little bit more consistent than somebody who picks up the dice and chucks them out. You need that. If you don't have that, then whatever we're saying is null and void, basically. You need to actually practice. Because if you practice, then that becomes dice familiarity. And if dice familiarity is there, you're 50% there already. You know how the dice feel in your hand, their weight. You actually have eye-to-hand coordination when you throw the dice to make them land at a certain spot or with a certain velocity and momentum and things like that. Then you're 50% of the way there. Placement of your fingers on the dice. Once you throw enough times, you actually know, at the very least, that the way the dice left your hand is not good enough because you felt the rotation of one of the two dice being out of sync with the other. And you're just, praying to God that it's not a 7 result. So it's things like that that, I try to share with people. I'm not trying to tell them that, you're influencing dice or whatever. But with a lot of practice, you become familiar with your dice. You become more consistent in your mechanics. And that will actually help you keep the dice in your hand a lot longer. So that's all I have to say on the subject, I guess. Let me see if I can make this go back. Nope, I can't. So we go back to here. All right, guys. So it was like a bit of event, but some of it was very obvious, and people get happy when they watch a video. I get angry. I get angry because I can see things about to happen simply because no, it's not simple. It's actually very complicated. You're under pressure when you hold the dice. I have experienced that. Nobody's that cool not to care. Nobody's that cool not to care. But if I'm to share something for you to take notice, do practice. It's not just knowing how to bet. It's also knowing a lot about, dice, the grips, the mechanics, and of course the obvious things that are on the dice, because dice do have a certain symmetry. I keep telling people that, and the more you study them, the more you understand how what an amazing sort of piece of cube they are. Anyway, I wish you the very best of luck, Mr. Big Money. I do. On that note, have a wonderful evening, rest well, and I'll catch you on another one. Hopefully someday soon I'll do another tutorial or something like that. Thank you guys, this is George. Dice are out.